It has been countless years since Kratos, the fierce Spartan warrior and former Greek god of war, sought his revenge against the Greek gods. Now, he resides in ancient Norway with his young son, Atreus, in the mystical realm of Midgard. The story unfolds after the tragic passing of Faye, Kratos' second wife, and Atreus' mother, who had one final wish, to have her ashes scattered atop the highest peak in the 9 realms. Kratos was deeply affected by Faye's passing, and it forced him into a new role as a single parent to Atreus, which was uncharted territory for him. Prior to embarking on their journey, Kratos decided to cut down a tree adorned with Faye's handprint, using the powerful Leviathan axe, a weapon she had entrusted to him before her demise. These trees, including the one he'd retrieved, were utilized to construct a final pyre for Faye. As he bent down to collect the fallen tree, the leather wrappings concealing the scars on his arm unraveled unexpectedly. When Atreus approached him with a bundle of kindling he had discovered, Kratos instructed him to return to the boat while he secured the wrapping back on. After putting the tree onto the boat, the father and son embarked on their journey back home. Atreus remarked that the forest felt different now and inquired if something had changed. Kratos responded by stating that everything had changed and advised Atreus to not dwell on it. As Atreus prepared Faye's body, Kratos skillfully chopped up the final tree to complete the construction of the pyre. Once finished, he entered the house and gently lifted Faye's body, urging her to find her way home and embrace her freedom. With great care, he carried her body outside and gently laid her upon the pyre before igniting it. In the midst of the cremation process, Atreus retrieved his mother's knife from her and accidentally burned his hand. Kratos swiftly instructed him to grasp a handful of snow to soothe the burn, then used his own arm wrappings to bind Atreus' injured hand. Retrieving Faye's knife, he presented it to his son, declaring it as his own now, before commanding him to showcase his hunting prowess by tracking down a deer. They would then venture into the wildwoods while they awaited the completion of Faye's pyre. Amidst their hunt for a deer in the forest, Atreus skillfully demonstrated the hunting skills his mother had imparted to him. When they stumbled upon the deer, Atreus couldn't contain his excitement and impulsively fired his bow at the deer, completely disregarding his father's instructions. This infuriated Kratos, who scolded his son and confiscated his bow. After taking a moment to compose himself, Kratos instructed Atreus to only shoot when he gave the signal. Atreus sheepishly offered his apologies, to which Kratos replied that there was no need to be sorry, but rather a need to improve. He then instructed his son to locate the deer. As they ventured to the hunt, they stumbled upon a pack of Draugr, whom Kratos swiftly defeated. Not long after, Atreus caught sight of a deer entering the ancient temple's ruins, prompting the father and son to pursue it eagerly. Eventually, they caught up to the wounded deer, and Kratos returned Atreus' bow, allowing him to take the shot. Atreus successfully struck the deer with an arrow, but to their surprise, it remained alive. Kratos instructed Atreus to finish the deer off with his knife, but Atreus hesitated, lacking the resolve to do so. Seeing his son struggle, Kratos stepped in and helped euthanize the deer. He initially reached out to confront Atreus, but changed his mind, returning the knife to him instead. Suddenly, a menacing troll emerged, attacking the duo and forcing them into a battle. With Kratos' strength and skill, they managed to defeat the troll by snapping its neck. However, Kratos realized that Atreus still has a long way to go when he witnessed his son wildly slashing at the troll's lifeless body with his knife. After calming Atreus down, they continued their journey back home. Along the way, they encountered more Draugr and even a peculiar creature that seemed impervious to the effects of the powerful Leviathan axe. Once home, a sense of unease settled, but out of nowhere, a deafening sound reverberated throughout the air, catching everyone's attention. Moments later, an unfamiliar figure appeared at the cabin door, demanding Kratos to reveal himself. Sensing the potential danger, Kratos swiftly instructed Atreus to conceal himself beneath the floorboards before bravely facing the stranger. With a firm voice, Kratos inquired about the man's intentions, only to be met with a confident response, claiming he already knew the answer. Undeterred, Kratos assured the intruder that he possessed nothing of value and urged him to move along. However, the stranger's taunting words struck a nerve, serve, provoking Kratos' anger. Kratos cautioned the man against provoking him into a brawl, yet the man stubbornly persisted, claiming it was his desire, and promptly delivered a forceful blow to Kratos' face. Snarling, he warned the intruder to depart, but the audacious man persisted, challenging Kratos to end his life. Fueled by rage, Kratos unleashed a series of powerful blows, but to his astonishment, the visitor retaliated with a single punch that sent him soaring through the air, landing far behind the cabin. In that moment, Kratos realized that underestimating this man would be a grave mistake. During the intense clash, the duo found themselves locked in a brutal combat. In the midst of the struggle, Kratos was forcefully hurled onto a rooftop of the house. As he punched a massive hole through the roof, the enigmatic stranger caught sight of Atreus' bed and grew curious about what secrets Kratos was concealing. Seizing the opportunity, Kratos swiftly unleashed a barrage of blows, adamantly insisting that he depart. However, the cunning adversary trapped Kratos within the confines of the colossal boulder, diverting his attention towards Atreus, who was hidden within the house. Kratos refused to let the man discover the truth about Atreus, so he unleashed his Spartan rage, delivering powerful and brutal blows. However, to his surprise, none of his attacks seemed to affect the man, who claimed to feel no pain. Undeterred, Kratos continued to fight, gradually overpowering his opponent. Finally, he snapped the man's neck and tossed his lifeless body into the gaping chasm that had formed during their intense battle. Battered and weakened from his encounter with the stranger, Kratos struggled to make his way back to the safety of their home. As he walked, he couldn't help but wonder how the man had known him and how the gods had finally managed to track him down after all this time. He confided in Faye, admitting that he didn't feel ready to raise Atreus alone, and that neither of them were prepared for the perilous journey through the mountain. However, he also realized that they could no longer remain in the wild woods, now that the stranger had discovered their whereabouts. Upon entering the house, Kratos gently pulled Atreus out of the basement, making sure that he was unharmed. He instructed his son to gather his belongings and prepare to leave. Atreus reminded his father of his earlier doubts, but Kratos responded by acknowledging his own uncertainty while challenging Atreus to prove him wrong. Upon witnessing the aftermath of the intense battle between Kratos and the stranger, Atreus couldn't help but inquire if his father had indeed slain his opponent. In response, the Spartan warrior simply stated that he had done what was necessary. As they navigated through the treacherous chasm, Kratos advised Atreus to steel his heart against the suffering of their adversaries, as these foes would show no mercy in return. Finally reaching the summit of a hill, Kratos and Atreus stumbled upon a remarkable sight. The wildwoods were encircled by a protective barrier of trees, forming a mystical shield around the forest. Noticing a flaw in the stave where the final tree for Frey's spire had been felled, they came to the realization that the trees marked by Faye were integral to the very structure of the stave itself. Kratos and Atreus soon faced numerous obstacles on their journey and successfully overcome them. Along the way, they come across the dwarven Hultra brothers, Brock and Sindri, who continuously enhance their weapons. They also encounter a mysterious yet friendly witch of the woods, who offers her assistance after they rescue her boar, accidentally shot by Atreus. The mysterious witch of the woods requested of Kratos and Atreus to join her at her humble abode, nestled beneath the colossal tortoise. Her purpose was to seek their assistance in caring for her beloved boar, held as Winnie. As Atreus ventured into her garden to collect the necessary provisions, she confided in Kratos, revealing her knowledge of his divine nature and his origins beyond the realm of Midgard. Kratos snapped back at her, his anger evident in his voice, stated that Atreus and his own heritage was none of her business. Kratos and Atreus were bestowed with a powerful amulet by the witch. Before embarking on their journey, she assured them that it would shield them from any obstacles posed by their enemies. Additionally, she gifted them a mystical compass that would guide them towards their desired destination. With heartfelt wishes of luck, the witch bid farewell to the father and son as they ventured out of her abode. While returning to the boat, they stumbled upon a mysterious caverns beneath the witch's abode, after which they embarked on a journey towards the enigmatic Lake of Nine. To their astonishment, they discovered a towering statue emerging from the depth of the water, adorned with a cryptic message that read, "Sacrifice your arms to the center of the water, awaken again the cradle of the world." world. Following Atreus' suggestion, Kratos hurled the mighty Leviathan axe into the lake, only to be taken aback when it refused to return to his grasp upon calling for it. In an instant, the tranquil waters transformed into a tempestuous maelstrom, violently tossing their boat amidst the tumultuous waves. Before their eyes, an immense entity began to emerge from the depths, leaving them awestruck. It was then that Atreus revealed the identity of the colossal being before them. Jormungandr, the world's serpent. Astonishingly, the serpent spat out the Leviathan axe from its mouth, hurtling it back towards Kratos. However, the serpent's words, spoken in an incomprehensible language, left both Kratos and Atreus perplexed. As the serpent began to drift back into slumber, Kratos and Atreus realized that its awakening had caused the water level of the lake to recede, unveiling a magnificent structure that had long been submerged, the Temple of Tyr, standing atop the hidden foundation. Eager to explore their newfound surroundings, the duos uncrossed paths with Brock, who had established his trade within the temple's confines. As they ascended the mountain, Kratos and Atreus pressed forward. Atreus, with a hopeful tone, asked if he could bear the weight of Faye's ashes for a brief moment. However, Kratos declined, prompting Atreus to question his decision. Atreus argued that Faye held a greater significance in his heart than his own father, emphasizing that Kratos was rarely present. In response, Kratos advised Atreus to cease his words, implying that it would be beneficial for him to remain silent. As they made their way up the mountain, a peculiar black fog suddenly obstructed their path. Just when they thought they were stuck, the witch appeared before them once again. With a mysterious air, she revealed that the fog was known as the Black Breath and could only be dispelled by harnessing the power of the light of Elfheim. Leading them to Tyr's temple, she assigned Kratos the task of fixing the temple's mechanical components and aligning it with the realm towers that encircled the Lake of Nine. Inside the temple, she guided them to the realm travel room, the sole location in all the 9 realms where one could journey between them. Utilizing Bifrost, they maneuvered the temple's bridge platform towards the Elfheim gate, transporting themselves to the enchanting realm of Elfheim to obtain the light. Upon their arrival, the witch eagerly directs their attention towards the distant light of Elfheim. However, she quickly notices that something is amiss, as the light appears dimmer than its usual brilliance. Before anyone can comprehend the situation, a mysterious force forcefully snatches her away from Elfheim, leaving Kratos bewildered. Nevertheless, she manages to convey a crucial message to Kratos, urging him to utilize the Bifrost to retrieve the light and restore its power. Despite her desperate attempt to warn him about stepping into the light, her words are abruptly cut off as she's whisked back to Midgard. Moving forward, the father and son observe the ongoing conflict in the realm, where the dark and light elves are engaged in an unending war. Kratos remarks that they have arrived at the war's conclusion. Curious, Atreus suggests aiding the light elves, but Kratos dismisses the idea, emphasizing that their sole purpose is to recharge the Bifrost, and the elves' conflict is not their concern. As they journey through the Alfheim, the Dark Elves, led by Svaltr perceive Kratos and Atreus as trespassers and attempt to eliminate them. Atreus starts to encounter a peculiar phenomenon, auditory hallucinations. He hears a variety of voices, ranging from aggressive to peaceful, and even the voices of his own mother. As they battle their way through the hordes of Dark Elves, they finally reach the heart of the light of Alfheim. Once they arrive, Kratos entrusts Atreus with the mighty Leviathan axe, cautioning him to employ it only as a last resort. Kratos then steps into the radiant light, absorbing the power of Alfheim into the Bifrost, despite the evident pain it inflicts upon him. As he ventured through the ethereal light, Kratos followed the trail of Faye's ashes, his mind plagued by haunting auditory visions. In one of these visions, he found himself standing on a majestic bridge to Jotunheim, catching a glimpse of Faye in the distance. But before he could reach her, Atreus abruptly pulled him out of the light. Frustration welled up within Kratos as he scolded Atreus in anger. However, his fury quickly subsided when he realized that he had been immersed in the light for far longer, surrounded by the lifeless bodies of dark elves. Atreus, visibly shaken and enraged, lashed out at Kratos, who silently absorbed the intensity of his son's emotions. Determined to press forward, Kratos infused the talon bow with the radiant power of Alheim, empowering them to make their escape from the Temple of Light, just as the Light Elves reclaimed it. Their journey, however, was interrupted by an ambush from Svartalfjordr, the Dark Elf King. Yet, Kratos proved his might by overpowering and slaying the treacherous king with his own spear. In his dying breath, the Dark Elf King warned that father and son had made a grave mistake, leaving Atreus questioning their allegiance. As they continued their path, Atreus voiced his frustration, expressing how Kratos only seemed to engage with him when he needed something, longing for the presence of his mother. Kratos responded bluntly, stating that if Faye was still alive, they would not have found themselves in Alheim at all. On their way back to the Tyr's temple, Atreus inquired if Kratos had seen Faye within the light, to which he replied negatively. This sparked the boy's anger, accusing Kratos of not truly loving Faye. Kratos snapped back, defending himself and highlighting their different ways of grieving. Realizing his mistake, Atreus apologized, and Kratos acknowledged the pain of losing Faye, explained that his perception of time within the light was distorted. Atreus accepted this, and they found solace in their reconciliation. After dispelling the mist and reaching the highest point in Midgard, the father and son suddenly find themselves under attack by Hreslir, a fearsome dragon residing within the mountain. However, with their combined strength and bravery, they successfully repel the dragon's assault. Shortly after, they are startled by the piercing screams of Sindri, only to find him in the clutches of the dragon, under attack. With Kratos leading the charge, they swiftly bring down the mighty dragon thanks to Atreus' assistance. Together, they pierce the beast's neck with a colossal crystal, ending its reign of terror. In gratitude, Sindri presents Atreus with intricately braided mistletoe arrows, while also infusing the talon bow with the electrifying power of one of the dragon's fangs. Before reaching the summit, Kratos and Atreus stumble upon a conversation between some individuals. To their surprise, they come face to face with the same enigmatic man whom Kratos had previously fought at their home. It appears that he miraculously survived their encounter and now is accompanied by two other men. The trio is engaged in a discussion with a man who is mysteriously embedded in a tree. By discreetly listening on to their conversation, Kratos and Atreus discover that the stranger who is talking to the man in the tree is none other than Baldur, a powerful Aesir god and the son of Odin. Furthermore, they learn that Baldur and his companions are actively searching for Kratos and Atreus. However, their request for assistance from the man in the tree is met with refusal, and the group eventually departs. As Kratos and Atreus process this new information, they come to realize that the man in the tree is Mimir, who claims to be the smartest man alive. Curiosity piqued, Kratos inquires about Baldur's pursuit of him and his son. Mimir, although knowledgeable, admits to having some gaps in his understanding, but assures them that given time, he can unravel the mystery. The father and son duo then share their mission with Mimir, explaining their intention to scatter Faye's ashes from the highest peak in the realms. However, Mimir surprises them by revealing that the highest peak is not located in Midgard, but in Jotunheim. Kratos expresses doubt, believing that this contradicts Faye's intentions. Mimir, however, informs them that due to the absence of the realm tower in the Lake of Nine, the only way to reach Jotunheim is by obtaining a special black rune known solely to the giants. He offers his assistance in locating this rune. Intrigued, Kratos asks Mimir what they must do to acquire the rune. Mimir's response is unexpected. He suggests that Kratos decapitate him and find someone capable of using magic to revive him afterwards. After obtaining Mimir's decapitated head, the pair makes their way back to the witch's forest. For some unknown reason, the witch is overcome with panic as the sight of Atreus' mistletoe arrows. She hastily demands that he get rid of them and offers her own arrows instead, claiming that he has no use for them. Together, they assist assist in reviving Mimir's head. As Mimir comes back to life, he accidentally lets slip that the witch is actually Freya, the queen of the Vanir gods, and Odin's former wife. Kratos, filled with anger, confronts her for keeping her divine identity a secret. In response, Freya questions whether he truly intended to lecture her about hiding the truth. Enraged, Kratos orders Atreus to leave Freya's home and storms off without expressing any gratitude. Kratos and Atreus then make their way back to the Lake of Nine. While searching for the necessary components to open the portal to Jotunheim, Kratos, Atreus, and Mimir's head are ambushed by Modi and Magni. After Kratos defeats Magni, Modi escapes, but later returns to launch a surprise attack. Kratos manages to fend him off, but Atreus falls ill due to the conflicting belief of being a god, while perceiving himself as mortal. Freya instructs Kratos to retrieve the heart of a specific troll in Helheim, but his Leviathan axe proves ineffective in that realm. Kratos returns home to retrieve his old weapons, the Blades of Chaos, and is haunted by the spirit of Athena. After obtaining the heart, he experiences a haunting vision of Zeus. Atreus is cured, and Kratos finally reveals to him that he is a god. However, as their journey progresses, Atreus becomes increasingly arrogant and defies Kratos' orders by murdering a weakened Modi. At the peak of Midgard, they're ambushed by Balder. Ignoring caution, Atreus foolishly engages in the fight with Balder, resulting in the destruction of the portal to Jotunheim and the group being thrown into Helheim. Atreus reconciles with Kratos, and as they flee from Helheim, they stumble upon the shocking revelation that Balder is actually Freya's son. In a desperate attempt to safeguard him, Freya had placed a powerful enchantment on Balder, rendering him impervious to any physical or magical harm. However, this spell also deprived him of the ability to experience any happiness in life, leading Balder to harbor deep resentment towards his mother. Upon their return to Midgard, Mimir uncovers an alternative path to Jotunheim, but he requires his missing eye to proceed. After retrieving it from within the world serpent, who had inadvertently swallowed it while devouring Thor's statue, they find themselves once again under attack by Balder. However, Freya steps in to shield her son. In the midst of the battle, Atreus' mistletoe arrow pierces Balder, shattering Freya's spell. After an epic battle, Balder is vanquished, and despite being offered a chance to retreat, he makes a desperate attempt to strangle Freya, leaving Kratos with no choice but to end his life. As sorrowful Freya vows to seek revenge and mocks Kratos for concealing his true identity. Finally, Kratos opens up to Atreus about his dark past, confessing that he was responsible for the deaths of his fellow Greek gods, including his own father Zeus. Atreus mourns the revelation, and Kratos advises him to learn from the past and avoid repeating the mistakes of their predecessors. In silence, Freya departs with Balder's lifeless body, while Mimir optimistically suggests that she will eventually find solace and come to understand that Kratos did what was necessary. Upon finally reaching Jotunheim, they stumble upon a magnificent temple adorned with a mural that vividly portrays their incredible journey. Astonishingly, the mural reveals that the giants had foreseen every twist and turn of their adventure, offering cryptic hints about what may lay ahead. To their astonishment, they also uncover a startling truth. Faye, Atreus' mother, was herself a giant who had chosen to remain in Midgard. This revelation makes Atreus a unique blend of god, giant, and mortal, as Kratos, his father, was once a demigod before ascending to full godhood by slaying Ares, the original god of war. The mural further unveils the true motive behind Baldur's relentless pursuit. He had been chasing after Faye, unaware that she had already passed away. Moreover, Atreus learns that his mother had given him the name Loki, a name that carries great significance in Norse mythology. In a poignant moment, Kratos and Atreus fulfill their promise to Faye by scattering her ashes at the summit, overlooking the haunted valley filled with the remains of fallen giants. As they stand there, a bittersweet sense of closure washes over them, but their respite is short-lived. As Kratos confides in Atreus about his own past, he reveals that his given name was that of a compassionate Spartan comrade, shedding light on the side of himself that he had long kept hidden. Their return to Midgard is met with a dire warning from Mimir. A 3-year-old Fimbulwinter has begun, a chilling precursor to the imminent arrival of Ragnarok, an event that was not expected to occur for another century. The weight of the impending doom hangs heavily upon them, urging them to brace themselves for the trials that lie ahead. Upon Upon their return home, Atreus declares his intention to hibernate throughout the winter. Kratos advises him to get some much-needed rest, to which Atreus cheekily responds that he's already one step ahead. However, during that very night, Atreus experiences a vivid vision of Thor appearing at their doorstep as Fimbulwinter comes to an end. The following morning, Atreus eagerly shares his dream with Kratos, initially dismissing it as a mere figment of the imagination. Kratos changes his tune when Atreus insists that the dream felt incredibly real, assuring his son that they will address it tomorrow. Kratos reminds him that there are still plenty of tasks to accomplish today. This has been the story of God of War. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next one.